Because it was her first time, my wife Samantha spoke so softly I could barely hear her. Her face turned a deep red, and seeing her so bashful took me by surprise. I found myself completely captivated by her. But our relationship wasn't always like this. My name is Jack Andrews. I'm just an ordinary guy working for a medical device company. I once had a dream and went for it, but I didn't have the talent, so I gave up. My parents had high hopes for me and encouraged me to pursue my own path, which led me here. Now I have no dreams and no ambitions. Losing my dreams left me feeling empty, without a goal. People might say to get married and start a family, but I'm still a bachelor with no girlfriend. It honestly pains me that I can't give my mother the grandchildren she longs for. I just can't give them what I don't have. Next week I need to visit my parents. They live in the same state, just a short train ride away, so it's no big deal. But when they called, their voices were serious, saying they had important matters to discuss. My parents are usually laid back and rarely ask me to come home, so something must have happened. I want to be a good son, so I'll accept whatever favor they ask. The day came and I returned to my childhood home. My parents run a diner with the shop on the first floor and their home on the second. As a child, I used to boast I'd take over the shop, but I lacked the talent for cooking and gave up on that path. That's why I'm hesitant to return home. But it's strange. They should be open every day except Thursday, and the shop sign isn't out. Are they closed just for today? I'm home, Dad. Mom, I'm back. Opening the door to the diner, I found both Mom and Dad there. They looked thin and pale. What happened to you two? I asked, hastily approaching them. They explained the situation with heads bowed. A family restaurant opened nearby, and our diner started losing customers. They tried their best to bounce back, but the customers only dwindled. Dad investigated the sudden drop in customers and found anonymous rumors about our diner being dirty or having cockroaches. Despite their efforts, business sales continued to decline, and they ended up in debt, making it impossible to keep the diner open. Even if they close the diner, the debt remains. Worst case, they might have to sell our home. We're sorry if you lose your home too, Dad said, tears of frustration in his eyes. His voice was shaking, and I had never seen him like this. Can't something be done, at least about the debt? I asked. The debt is $80,000. We're looking for a place to get a loan, Dad replied, hanging his head. He must have done all he could, but without any solutions, he confessed to me. In desperation, I turned my gaze to Mom. Mom, can't you ask for help from your friends? Well, I did talk to them. Actually, one of my friends mentioned she might be able to help, but there is a condition. I leaned in, eager to hear more. Regardless of what the condition was, it was worth listening if help was on the table. Yet Mom kept her head down, hesitant to elaborate. Encouraged by Dad, Mom finally broke her silence. The condition is she proposed marriage to her daughter. What? You know I used to go to the flower arrangement class, right? That's where I met her. Her husband is a CEO of a leading company, and their daughter apparently doesn't have anyone she's seeing. According to Mom, this daughter Samantha is shy and hasn't been able to find a partner, even though she wants to get married. This friend of mine seems to be very family-oriented and said she would be willing to help us out if I marry Samantha and become part of their family. But Jack has the right to choose his own partner. I don't want to deprive you of your future because of our debts. No, I'll take the deal. I told my decision to my worried mother. I couldn't take over the family business. I couldn't protect this place that had always been precious to me since I was born. So if getting married is what it takes to save the business, I'll do it. And after all, she's a CEO's daughter. It's a rare opportunity for an ordinary guy like me to have a connection with someone like that. There was a part of me that thought it was a lucky break, the chance to help the business and maybe gain a partner and some connections. There weren't many downsides for me, so I decided to go ahead with it. But I see why she's not finding a husband. The day I met with Samantha, that was the thought running through my mind. She must be shy indeed. Her gaze occasionally wandered away, like she couldn't look directly at me. On the other hand, I couldn't take my eyes off of Samantha. Well, to be more accurate, off her figure. Her double chin was so prominent that it looked like she didn't have a neck. And not just her neck, she didn't have a waistline. Typically, even average-sized women have some curves, but Samantha had none. If I were to compare her shape to something, it would be to a certain blue feline-shaped robot from the future. I don't like to criticize people's appearances, but I have to admit she had a strong impact. If you ask me if I wanted to marry her, I'd say no without hesitation. But I am not in the position to say that right now. Nice to meet you. I'm Samantha. I'm Jack. Pleasure to meet you. Samantha shyly responded and made her greeting. I also nodded in response, and after discussing, we officially became engaged. A month later, we got married and officially became a couple. There was some discussion about living together, but marriage was a non-negotiable condition for repaying the debt. I had no reason to refuse. Perhaps understanding the situation, Samantha suggested that we don't force ourselves to live like a typical married couple, but come together in our own way. So we ended up sharing a bedroom, but not a bed. The so-called wedding night has not yet taken place. Well, with Samantha's physique, sharing a bed would honestly be a squeeze. We were both used to living alone, so it was a bit awkward at first, but it seems that Samantha had always aspired to be a typical wife. Good morning. I tried making breakfast. If you like, please. Just before I left for work, Samantha, who had gotten up early, had prepared breakfast. Chicken soup, fish, and omelet. It was a hearty meal. The aroma of the food tickled my nostrils, stimulating my empty stomach. This is delicious. Even though I quit, I once aspired to be a chef. I have a discerning palate for food, so I can say with confidence Samantha's soup is truly delicious. And it's not just the soup. The seasoning of the fish is just right. And the omelet, its color, shape, and taste are all perfect. The quality is as good as any restaurant. This is amazing. It must have been tough to make breakfast of this level, right? It's delicious. I was so engrossed in my breakfast, Samantha's face gradually turned red. I'm glad. Be confident. I'm a diner's owner's son, after all. Samantha, you're a great cook. With that, I finished my meal, not hiding my genuine opinion. Samantha shyly hid her face behind the tray she was holding. Well, I've never served my homemade food to anyone before. I'm happy, though. She appeared extremely shy, but seeing Samantha genuinely happy was adorable. They say don't judge a book by its cover, and that might be true. Samantha, aside from her looks, has a very playful and adorable personality. She's so domestic that you'd forget she's a CEO's daughter, and she almost flawlessly manages household chores, except it seems like she's not very good at doing laundry. The other day, she ended up turning all my shirts blue. She seems to still be getting used to sorting by colors. I'm sorry. They've turned completely blue, haven't they? I've made that mistake before, too. A mistake that would depress me if I had made it somehow becomes forgivable when Samantha does it. I slowly fell in love with Samantha. At first, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but by the time we had been living together for 6 months, what am I going to do? The doctor said I might not be able to have a baby. One day, Samantha came home crying. Apparently, something had come up during her health checkup. I can guess why. I don't necessarily expect us to have children, so don't cry so much. But with my current figure, you won't be able to hold me, Jack. I choked up emotionally. I am perfectly able to love Samantha, but it's pretty tough with her 200 pounds figure. While I was struggling for words, Samantha seemed to make up her mind, looking at me determinedly. I've decided. I'm going on a diet. I want to live a long life, and I want children. Also, I want to walk proudly by your side, Jack. I can't stop Samantha, who says this while blushing. Samantha made up her mind, and thus she began her diet. Exercise is good for health, so I also joined her in the effort. I was just starting to worry about my waistline. I suppose I've put on some happy weight. It can't be helped. Samantha's cooking is too delicious. We go jogging together before work and walking every night. But as expected, it's not easy to keep up. I can't do it anymore. I won't spoil Samantha when she whines like that. This was a promise between me and Samantha. If she felt like giving up, I would be there to support her. So when Samantha looked ready to give up, I proposed something. Hey, Samantha, I have a suggestion. What is it? How about we buy a dress? Here's my idea. I will buy the dress that Samantha wants to wear the most right now, and Samantha will work hard on her diet so that she can wear that dress. It's easier for people to have a goal in front of them. That might be a great idea. I've never worn a dress before. Samantha was on board with the idea. Additionally, we decided to separate our bedrooms. This was because Samantha wanted to do stretches and yoga at night. "If I'm being watched, it's embarrassing," she said. "If she makes a request like that, when do you want to fulfill it?" And so, Samantha continued to put forth great effort. Half a year later, by the time we were married for a year, Samantha had become astonishingly beautiful. I hadn't realized it because she was overweight, but she originally had a good figure. With her chest and butt standing out and her waist slimmed down, Samantha, now with a great figure, looked like a different person. Her weight dropped to the goal weight of 117 pounds, and Samantha came running to me beaming with joy. "Jack, I'm going to try on that dress today." "Really? I'm going to change in the bedroom. Wait for me here." With that, Samantha headed to her bedroom. The bedroom, come to think of it, for the past year, we haven't slept in the same bed, had we? With the way Samantha is now, we could probably share a bed. In fact, isn't this the first time I've been allowed into her bedroom since she lost weight? Thinking like that, it felt almost like our wedding night. After all, Samantha had always strictly kept me out of her bedroom. "It's your first time in my room, isn't it?" "Ha ha ha ha. I'm looking forward to our first night." My heart skipped a beat, wondering for a moment if I'd accidentally voiced my thoughts. As if she had read my mind, Samantha laughed. "I'll be changed," and shut the bedroom door. After a year together, we were comfortable enough to joke around like that, but her shyness hasn't changed. Just before she shut the door, I caught a glimpse of her blushing ears. After a little while, I put it on and came in. Upon Samantha's invitation, I entered the bedroom. "This is my first time wearing a dress. How do I look?" There stood Samantha, blushing yet gracefully wearing the red dress I'd bought. She looked stunning, her beauty resembling that of a goddess. I was left dumbstruck. "This is incredible. You look stunning," were the only commonplace words I could muster up. Samantha was that beautiful. She was enchanting and alluring, yet despite her appeal, she was blushing and fidgeting adorably. "Do I look weird?" "Not at all. You're beyond beautiful." "Really? Truly?" "Yeah, I'd rather not have you walk around outside like that, though." Upon hearing that, Samantha chuckled happily. "Oh, stop it, but I'm flattered. I'm just telling the truth. I mean, what if some strange guy comes over?" I muttered, a hint of anxiety in my voice. Samantha, in all her beauty, smiled. "In that case, you'll protect me, won't you?" Her blush was so very Samantha-like, and I chuckled in response. I resolved in my heart to protect Samantha at all costs and gently closed the bedroom door. From then on, time continued to pass. Believe it or not, I took over my dad's restaurant. Quitting my job and paying off the debt was one thing, but it was no easy task to bring a reputation-damaged restaurant back to life. But now we've transformed into a popular restaurant with lines from the morning. "Jack, take this to table 5. "Got it." "Samantha, how's the meal for table 8? "It's almost ready." Yes, it's Samantha in the kitchen now. When I explained the situation of the restaurant, Samantha said she wanted someone to try her cooking, given the lack of popularity. "Jack, you praise my cooking, right?" That gave me confidence. To be honest, I was convinced that if Samantha cooked for the restaurant, it would surely succeed. That's how much I trust Samantha's cooking skills. She's always loved cooking. She even admitted to gaining weight from eating too much of her own cooking. That's actually an ideal skill for running a diner. Even though the customer traffic had dwindled, it wasn't zero. I pleaded with our regulars to try Samantha's cooking. Her culinary skills were soon recognized, and customers started to return. In fact, some people even come in daily to eat. I help out in the kitchen, but primarily I handle the management and front of house work, creating a place where Samantha can fully utilize her talents. That's my job. I'm home. The restaurant door creaked open around the evening. It was still early for dinner, so there weren't many customers. Into this quiet scene entered a boy carrying a backpack. "Welcome back, Jake." "Dad, I'm hungry. Ask your mom to make something." "Yes." The elementary school boy who just walked in is Jake, me and Samantha's son. Actually, after Samantha's successful diet, she got pregnant and gave birth to a healthy baby boy. "Mom, can you make something?" "Oh, you really ate a lot, don't you? Just wait a bit." Our son, nagging for food because he's hungry, calls out to the kitchen. Watching the scene, I can't help but smile. Right now, I'm happy. I have my loving wife, my adorable son, and I get to live with them both in the restaurant. I've always wanted to protect Samantha, and it's crude to say, but we married because of the debt. It's probably not what you call a good match, but I can say this from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad I married you. How did you find that? Your subscription to the channel really motivates us to keep producing.